It is Thursday, June 12th, 2025. It's 12:30, and we're here to further discuss the BOCC meeting guidelines. And I will turn it over to Dave Dose, our commissioner who spearheaded this. So, can you talk to our prosecutor and kind of go through them line item by line item?
I think you guys requested or instructed me that we would run our 5 or 6 basic rules last time through the prosecutor. He's condensed it into 5. I'll just read them out for the public, and then we can see if you're okay with them. We've already discussed the concepts. All he did was reword them into more legally appropriate language. Starting with his definition, a public meeting is intended to enable citizens an opportunity to view the decision-making processes of the governing body for a public entity. At times, the BOCC may enable the public to participate by providing comments they believe are pertinent to the BOCC's decision-making. When such opportunity is provided, citizens should closely adhere to the following guidelines. Number 1, a public meeting is not the forum which citizens should engage in argument or discussion with one another. If you intend to provide public comment, your comments or questions should be addressed to the commissioners directly. Number 2, in order to provide uniformity within the meeting structure and ensure that all citizens are treated with equality while still maintaining punctuality within the county calendar, public comments will be limited to 2 minutes per citizen. Number 3, threats to others have no place in public meetings and will not be tolerated during public meetings. In an attempt to maintain civility within the public forum, citizens should focus their comments on the performance, operations, or plans of the public entity as the unit of government. Number 4, in order to enable a fair opportunity for interested persons to anticipate what topics the BOCC may be receiving information on during a public meeting, comments from citizens should be limited to the topics listed on an agenda, except during the open comment period during weekly regular business meetings. And number 5, the BOCC's scope of authority is limited to those functions which the legislature has expressly authorized. It generally does not have the authority to exercise control over the elected officials or employees of other elected officials. If your comment relate to other elected officials or the operations of their departments, those comments should be submitted directly to the department for which your comments pertain.
Okay.
So that's what he condensed them to.
Okay. Now, one of my concerns is number 3. You know, I understand what he's saying. In an attempt to maintain civility with public comment, citizens should focus their comments on performance. When it comes to, you know, I want to make sure we're not crossing the line of the First Amendment. Mm-hmm. Because the First Amendment gives us people, you know, when a government agency comes in and starts telling the people what they can say and what they can't say, that's when we have a problem. And that's where, you know, my concern was before on the last one was the personal attacks. And it's kind of, you know, I want people to be able to be comfortable in here and be able to talk about, you know, whatever they want to talk about during our Wednesday consent agenda. But I still have real questions about, you know, that kind of indicates that it's telling them what they can say, and I just don't agree with that. You know, I think in my opinion, it does, you know, infringe on their First Amendment. You know, because you're saying, well, you can only talk about this, and I don't, you know, think we've had huge problems or fights in here, but you know, I just have a problem with that one.
I mean, I have to agree with you. I mean, there's not, I mean, that's a very, very fine line on the First Amendment, and I just don't want to feel like we're censuring anybody. But with the threats part, I mean, most people know, you know, can't come in here threatening lives or physical harm.
But on the other hand, go ahead.
But with comments is what I'm concerned with. You know, as far as they should be allowed to come in here and hold us accountable if we're doing if we're making a mistake, and then, you know, they should be able to tell us that we're making a mistake, or they may see it as a mistake, and maybe we have that opportunity to say, well, no, it's X, Y, and Z.
And furthermore, on the threats, maybe we should put threats, you know, because they can threaten to sue us. That's fine.
Yes.
So, you know, since we're kind of engaging in this, maybe we should talk about that. You know, So, do you want to go through each one and talk about them?
Well, we did that last meeting. The only thing that's changed, I think, is what you asked for, the legal wording, but obviously we should discuss any point any commissioner's concerned about.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he rewrote them
Yeah.
because they were, you know, the first ones that you brought up were direct your comments and questions to the commissioners directly, which I agree with. You know, we need to make sure that, you know, they're not directing their comments to anybody outside. So that takes care of.
It is
Number one.
Yeah.
And so I think number one is okay. I am in agreement with number one because basically that's, you know, it follows what Robert's rules, you know, asks anyway when we do that, you know, they address the board and not the public or anything else. Unless it's in a public hearing, which is completely different. Okay, number 2.
2-minute limit.
2-minute limit, which we've already have. You know, the previous board made that. That's also something that the Robert's rules also, and it's basically for efficiency to make sure that, you know, we get our business done. So I would agree with that one.
I as well.
Threats to others have no place, and we will not tolerate during the public meeting.
You could say inappropriate or illegal threats. I guess not against the law to threaten a lawsuit. But
Yeah, that's what I was.
Can't threaten harm or
can't threaten harm, bodily harm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that would be the only thing I would have
Yeah.
on that one.
Yeah, me too. I agree.
Okay, in number
Number 4.
yeah, number 3, still on number 3, in attempt to maintain civility of the public, citizens should focus their comments on performance, operations, and plans, the entity as a unit. I just think that kind of tells them what they can talk about, and that's what I'm.
Well, not everything is appropriate. If somebody comes in here and names off an employee and begins to rattle off personal insults or comments about them,
That's down further. That takes down if your comments relate to elected officials or other operations of their departments. Those comments should be submitted directly to the department for which the comments pertain.
Yeah, but if they decided to rip on our guy at the airport or something, then it would be our department. And that's where the prosecutor explained this to me. It made sense when I heard it from him, but I'm not an attorney. I can't tell you everything he said. You're telling people they should focus their comments on, and again, these are the county business, our performance, our operations, or our plans. You're not supposed to focus on, I just don't like Jim so-and-so down in the so-and-so department. It says should focus. You could say should attempt to focus. You could say, I mean, as a general guideline.
I think attempt should attempt. I think that would be. I think that would help right there. Should attempt, because then we're not telling them what they can't.
Yeah. And these are guidelines anyhow. So, I mean, they're just meeting guidelines.
Okay.
They are, but to be effective, they got to be ones that our chairman is willing to call
Right.
out.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So we need to be comfortable with them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and again, number 4, this is, we have a consent agenda, and public comment is for open discussion on the consent agenda day. They can come in and ask us, questions that aren't pertaining to the agenda item, and that's the only day that we take public
Right.
comments that are general. The other meetings that we have on the agenda should be specific to that topic, and I agree with that, because that's the way it's always been.
Well, and honestly, it's for us too,
Mm-hmm.
because sometimes we tend to, not a lot, but it's a good guideline for us as
Okay.
well to
Okay.
remember.
In my research, it would appear that several boards in Idaho don't even allow public comment other than at their weekly regular business meetings. So I think it's a good reminder that we are trying to allow and encourage extra comments from the public.
I would
We're
agree.
just trying to keep them to the topic.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Now the BOCC, and the other thing, number 5. So we have number 4. Number 4 looks good. And it is true. Our scope of our authority is only for our own employees and not the elected officials, because we can't do anything with
Right.
elected officials. So I would agree with that.
No elected official supersedes another.
Okay.
I
All
would
right.
agree with it as well.
Okay. Did you get those changes, Sydney?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I would entertain a motion that we approve could you call out the changes by chance? It was number
3.
Number 3.
We were going to put a legal threat,
Or no threats of bodily harm, I think.
bodily harm,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and should attempt to focus
Yep.
your comments.
And that was the only one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was number 3.
Yep.
Okay. All right.
And we want these on the back of the agendas.
Yes.
Yes.
Forward.
Okay. I would entertain a motion.
I move we adopt the rules as discussed and as edited at this meeting.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Nothing further. Any further questions? Anything further? Meeting adjourned.